Got Your Back pod stream is brought to you by JL Financial Solutions. If you're an Albertan looking to plan your financial future, you want someone you can trust. Together with Sun Life's estate and financial planning services, JL Financial Solutions will develop a plan you can be confident in to grow and protect your wealth. Give Jonathan Lambert and his team a call at 780-733-0910.
It is the playoffs, folks, and you know what that means. No lead is ever safe. The Edmonton Oilers learned that one the tough way. They spit the bit. What a comeback by the Vancouver Canucks. And they take a 1-0 lead in the series. And that mental edge, 5 straight games against the Oilers this season. Does it matter now? That's 5 in a row. Welcome to Got Your Back, folks. Jason Strudwick, Rob Brown are standing by, and I am coming at you from our Long Shots mobile studio here in Vancouver. All Oiler game nights during the playoffs, all you can eat wings. $25 a person. Few conditions apply. Just ask them. Visit Long Shots in Sherwood Park. Great golfing experience. Great place to watch the game as well. We are bringing you this podcast with the proud support of our title sponsor, Sherwood Buick GMC. Last month, their team was awarded the General Motors President's Club Award, given to the top 50 GM dealerships in the country. Now, if you or someone you know is in the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, make sure to go check them out. Visit the crew at 10 Auto Mall Road or online, www.gmcpod.com. Chris Sabunia manning the controls, Jason Strudwick, and Rob Brown just finishing up his post-game show on 6:30. Chad, guys, I was a loud building, not going to lie to you. I was at the first round back in Edmonton, and Oiler fans did well. They did well. But this building was rocking tonight, and lots of reason for it. How did it look on TV, Struddy?
It looked loud. It looked like there was a lot of people in there that were very upset to start the game, and then they found some life. And they brought the team back from pretty deep place, dark place, and they got them going. So, yeah, it was rocking. It would have been a fun place to be in there if you're a Canucks fan, for sure.
Well, I think it's the goal at the end of the second period is, both teams talked about it in the post game, but I think that brought the fans back.
Oh,
there was a little bit of belief.
They were back. They got loud. They were back.
It was a quiet thing, man. The Oilers had quieted the ring. Struds, when you're on the road, your job is to quiet the arena. Let's take the fans out of it. Well, that goal at the end of the period by, I think it was Lindholm, got that one. That brought the crowd back into it. And now you're starting the third period. There's excitement in the stands. So huge goal at the end of the second period brought to life a crowd. And I tell you, it sounded lound and it looked loud. And that's the way playoff hockey's supposed to be. That's good.
Good energy. Them. Good energy. Guys, Davin is a regular contributor here on the show, and we often read his comments. He's having a hard night. So for the rest of the folks on the stream, we have to pick Davin up. Here's his last 2 comments. We may never beat the Canucks again. That's where Davin's head is at, guys. And then his next one is, how many different ways can they beat us? Tune in Friday to find out. Whoa, Davin is in a deep, dark place. It's just one game, Davin, but it is 5 in a row. Let's get to breaking it down, guys. Brought to you by Mr. Dirk, the iconic men's clothing store in Edmonton, founded in 1939. That's how long they've been around. High-quality suits, shirts, pants, belts, everything you need. This is one of my Mr. Dirk classic shirts right now. This thing's like 3 years old, still looking crisp and fresh. Casual clothes as well. They can help you out with everything you need on the formal side, the casual side. They can do customs as well. They got an in-house tailor. Visit MrDirk.com for everything that they have to offer. Okay, Struds, I don't know where you want to start, my friend. Like, turning point, what happened in that stretch, headline thoughts, buddy. I just kind of want to serve it up to you to say what you're feeling right now about that game.
Well, I think it's too easy to say the Oilers stopped playing and the Canucks just got going. I don't know that the game, and I think you heard the coach talk a bit about it. It was never really a 4-1 game, and maybe it was never a 4-goal run by Vancouver. Like it wasn't. I didn't think it was a massively played game by either team, But unfortunately, the way it was going, it was kind of like the last team that got hot got on the roll. So, some strange goals. There were some goals that I didn't like defensively by the Oilers. For the most part, they managed the puck well, but it seemed like when Leon went down, Brownie, or was unable to play in the second, their offense just was gone. Like they weren't in the offense zone. It was not like they had 50 shots before that either, though.
Well, you're right. We talked about it off air. We talked about it on our show. Connor McDavid is the best in the world. He had an off game tonight. This wasn't Connor at his best.
No shots on net for the first time in his playoff career. Is that what I saw?
Yeah. So it shows you it wasn't a typical Connor night. And then all of a sudden you take the other superstar out of the lineup for the whole second period. Now you got one line who's having an off night. Now you don't have your second line. I know the score was even in the second period. I didn't think the Oilers were very good in that period. They scored 2 goals. The Canucks were all over the Oilers. They had a couple really big momentum shifts, and all of a sudden the Oilers get bang, bang, 2 goals, and you're a Canuck fan. You're like, hey, what just happened? I was looking to the right the entire time. Play was all down there, and all of a sudden in a 39-second stretch or something like that, the Oilers scored 2. So I don't think either team got good goaltending. I think both teams made some big mistakes. Ian Cole had one of the it was just a night that he will never forget, unfortunately, because it was everything that could go wrong for Ian Cole went wrong. But then the Oilers made their big mistakes. Both teams, the Canucks are good, and they had stretches where they controlled the play. And it's one of those ones, whichever team capitalize on their stretches is the team that's going to win the hockey game. And tonight, the Canucks capitalized in the third period on their stretch, and they capitalized a little bit better than the Oilers had earlier in the hockey game.
Okay, those are some headline thoughts. Let's get to some of the nitty-gritty here. First and foremost, Leon Draisaitl. I just came from the rink. I did post-game. I was in the room. What I can tell you is that we requested Leon Draisaitl to talk post-game, and the PR staff said that McDavid will speak instead because Draisaitl was in with the training staff. Chris Knobloch told us that Draisaitl had been suffering from some cramping and some equipment issues, and that's why his minutes were down. Guys, Chris Knobloch is not one to just sit in that chair and bold-faced lie to us. Now, I know it's the playoffs, so all bets are off, and he might be, and I kind of wouldn't blame him if he is. But that's not my read on him so far. He says it's cramping. Maybe I'm being gullible here. Brownie, I'll give you first crack at this one. What do you think of that whole cramping and equipment thing?
Well, he did leave at one point to get his skate done, but
saw that after he fell.
Yeah, after he fell. That was the only equipment part I saw. He was on the bench. He said the word back. I'm not a lip reader, but that one was pretty easy to see. He looked at his back. He went on the ice, and you saw him take a very quick twirl and come right back off the ice. I don't know what it is. I've never had cramps. I never worked hard enough for my body to cramp up on me, so I don't know what it feels like. But if it's not cramping, well, I'd be happy that the coach said it was cramping, because the last thing I want is Susie or Zadorov or Joshua or any of those guys know what actually is hurting on me, as they would just go after it. So Struds, I don't know about you. I've never experienced cramping. I don't know what part of my body would actually affect.
Yeah, I've had cramping before. It was like a hamstring and calves mostly. And I've also hurt my back. And after that, Leon came back, he played like a guy who has a sore back. The way you skate, you kind of sit straight up. You're not looking for physical confrontations. I thought the Canucks were targeting the back. We saw some cross checks in there. So, with all due respect, Shaugger, I think that he being Knobloch got the old 5 of diamonds stuck in the side of your mouth as a fish hook, and he's yanking it out.
Okay.
I can't believe it was just cramping. I just from the way he played and the way he moved afterwards. So I hope it is, man. I hope it is, but I don't know. I have a hard time with that one.
Rye Guy says Brownie was so good he never had to skate hard enough to get cramps. So I think that's a compliment. Thank you. Backhanded compliment for Brownie. Okay, we'll wait to see on Leon Draisaitl. If the team practices tomorrow, I will be at the rink reporting on that. So we'll be keeping a close eye on all things Leon Draisaitl. Okay, topic number 2. Let's get to Connor McDavid. Yeah, the analytics on this night for him aren't great. I think they kind of mirror what the Oilers offense did in general once they had that lead. But we got to talk about McDavid specifically. No shots, the first time in his playoff career. Not a lot of overly dangerous looking moments. Not a lot of dynamite type plays. He was not shot out of a cannon tonight, gentlemen. And I thought maybe he might be. Brownie, what did you see from Connor McDavid tonight?
Well, I don't think, I mean, his bar is so much higher than everyone else, simply because we've seen what he's capable of doing. When he has a night that would be good for most players, that's not good for Connor McDavid. I thought that the Vancouver Canucks did a good job with him. When he came with speed, they had 2 defensemen closing on him. They weren't letting him beat them. If you want to move it to someone else, go ahead, but we're not beating you. And the other thing that I saw tonight, when he would go into the Oilers zone and pick up speed, the Vancouver Canucks sent a forward to turn with him. And they're like, you know what? We're going to skate beside you. If you're going to pass it to Connor, you're going to have to pass it through one of us.
Yep.
And you know what? Bouchard or Ekholm or Janmark or Hyman, someone else can carry the puck into the zone. We're not giving Connor McDavid all the room in the world. So I thought the Canucks had a good game plan for that and limited Connor's chances as much as you can limit 97 on any given night.
Yeah, great pickup there. And that's the best way to do it. You want to you nullify his speed advantage by getting on him before he builds up to speed. Right? That's the big thing. Once he gets 2-3 strides, he's gone. And he's just, you're not catching that guy. So I thought Vancouver did a great job. Give credit to, Miller, Lindholm, these types of guys played really well against them. And the D were hanging in there. Like I thought their first period was the first period. Their best period was the first period by the Oilers. And even Connor McDavid, they had a lot. They were moving around and skating well. But then it seemed as the game went on, that time and space left, even in the offensive zone. And not that the Oilers were in there a lot, but there just wasn't as much room to move around. And it made it a lot harder for Connor to find little bursts of speed in open areas.
And I think, too, twice tonight we saw Connor McDavid get hit hard, where he was knocked off his feet. They made a concentrated effort to make him be physical, just like the Oilers did on Quinn Hughes.
Okay, Stuart Skinner. There was a blip in round 1. Skinner did a good job bouncing back from that. Thought he was very good for the rest of the series. I view tonight as a bumpy night for him. You guys maybe have had a little bit more time to evaluate all of the goals. It's a bit of a scramble for me after the game to get back up here in time for the show and everything. So I will say I have not watched them all again since, they happened and we saw the replays. My instinct was I didn't like the point shot from Zadorov, but I'll defer to you guys that have seen more replays. Definitely the Garland goal was ugly, but not a great night here, Struds, for Stuart Skinner overall. We'll hear from him in just a minute. He definitely owned it as usual. But what did you see, Struds?
Yeah, I think that the Garland goal, I can't disagree. I mean, as a D-man, you're kind of flat-footed, but you push the guy out pretty far, and you think there's, that'll probably be enough, and it's not. The Zadorov goal, there's quite a few Oilers in front of the net. I wonder if it didn't actually go off Corey Perry's shin pad. I know no one really talked about it on the broadcast. I'm not sure what you saw. And I'm not talking about a massive redirection. I just wonder if there wasn't a little tilt there. You kind of go through the other ones, like the first goal. That would be, Dakota Joshua. Was that his? Or Lindholm's? Yeah,
I think it was Joshua. I think Lindholm scored the set goal at the end of the second period from behind the net.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's right. So it was
Joshua had the first one,
off the face-off, right? Off the face-off. Leon, he doesn't stay at the center because Nuge can't get out to the point. He's being held up. So both Nuge and Leon go out. And now, CC's out kind of on the side. No one's in front of the net. Nurse has to pick one guy or the other. And he just, whatever. He's got a 50-50 chance of getting the right guy. So in that case, Leon I believe, has to stay at the center, Brownie. And then, Nuge can't get out there. You can't now compound the problem by having 2 players in no man's land. And then you have Cody Ceci, who's kind of waiting for the guy carrying the puck up the wall.
Well, you're right. You can't, when you start making up for someone else's mistake, well, it becomes Keystone Cops and you're running all over the place. It was funny, Struds, when we were off air, Shaugger and I were talking about that. I said, yeah, I believe it subtly hit Corey Perry's pants. Like, it didn't hit Corey Perry that puck much, but I do believe it changed direction. So the Zadorov one, I don't blame on Skinner. The Connor Garland one, I really enjoyed, and I'm not sure how much of the soundbite you have of Skinner, of him talking about Garland. I watched Garland pick up speed in the neutral zone. So he's watching the play unfold. And I agree with you too, Struds. Nurse, he got caught flat-footed. He was actually with Joshua. And Garland came to his. Garland was smart. He said, okay, defenseman Cece's over there. I'm going to go to this side. So Nurse was flat-footed, but he still did a good enough job to keep Garland to the outside. Now, Skinner should have had that, and he ownership on it. But also give credit to Garland. That is a nice play by Garland. And sure. Skinner talked in the thing where I usually shoots from there. I read the shot, and Garland held on to it and finds the 5-hole. So if you're an Oiler fan, you think Skinner should have it. If you're a Canuck fan, really nice play by our guy, Connor Garland. But to me, it was a game that I don't think either goalie had their A game. But the Vancouver Canucks did a much better job in the final 30 minutes of limiting the chances against, and the Oilers didn't.
Let's get to the Weiss Johnson sound box. With the seasons changing, now's a good time to get your air conditioning scheduled for service before the heat hits, or your ducts cleaned before you fire up your air conditioner and blow all that dust all over your entire house. Weiss Johnson can do all of that for you. Visit weiss-johnson.com for all of your home comfort needs. Weiss Johnson, whoa. Stuart Skinner, as he was in the first round, reflecting on his own play, willing to look in the mirror, and definitely didn't like that one goal.
I mean, whenever any team gets momentum, it's tough to shut it down. But I think that I thought we did a good job. Besides that fifth goal, besides that, they got some momentum in the second period, especially when I tripped up and then got a really tough penalty. But again, like, we came out, had a PK, and we killed it off. Third period, big PK, killed it off. I mean, I thought we were doing a great job shutting down their momentum. Just obviously unfortunate for myself with that fifth goal that gave him a ton of momentum.
Yeah, and Zuby, we don't have the one where he evaluated his overall night, do we? That's the one, Skinner, that we have?
Oilers Plus glitched on that one.
Oh, okay. So you guys didn't have that in time. No problem at all. But I just asked him, take us through your nights, too, and he said definitely didn't like that fifth goal. So he owned that one. That was the one that he specifically talked about. So we know Skinner is good at bouncing back. And it'll be interesting to see what kind of a performance he can give them in the next game. Guys, the last topic before we move on from our breakdown, I have to get there. There's a few statistics I want to point out and a point that I want to make. I'm going to go to the event summary here and pull minutes. So, Cody Ceci, 18:27. Darnell Nurse, 18:53. Vincent Desharnais, 17:50 in this game. So he's approaching a similar number of minutes to Darnell Nurse in a game that was, yes, they were defending a lead, but it was a tight game. You go to the advanced analytics on this thing, guys, and Darnell Nurse and Cody Ceci are getting crushed, and they're getting crushed by middling lines on the other team. They're not taking the hard minutes against the big dogs on the other team. 33% shot share, Darnell Nurse, when Connor Garland was on the ice. 731 and even strength against each other. Dakota Joshua. I mean, the third and fourth lines are eating up what, as at one point, was the Oilers' top pairing here. The analytics are not good. I don't know, Struds. Do those numbers paint the same picture as what you're watching play-wise? Because consistently, these guys are getting hammered in some of these numbers, and it's not a good look.
No, it's funny, and I try not to look at the time on ice till the end of the game, and I was surprised that Desharnais played that much because he actually had a pretty quiet night. I thought there wasn't, I don't think he had a hit, and it's not that he made bad plays or really good plays, but he was just kind of quiet, and maybe that's a good thing, right? Especially as a demon on the third pair. But you go through some of the goals, even the Miller tip goal. I believe it was Darnell who gets the puck near the blue line. And I'm not sure what he saw on the play, but that's probably just an area. Just throw it out. Just throw it over to the other blue line. Just get it out. You've been under pressure. They don't get it out now, 10 seconds in the back of your net. So it's just sometimes it's just about being patient, just letting the game evolve and not trying to hustle around in there. To be fair, I did say I thought CC and Nurse played well in the first round, but now this is a different animal here. And the Lindholm line was really good. They were really, and especially think about what Lindholm went through when he arrived there, what he did last round. And now he was, if not one of the better, he was the best player on the ice along with his line mates. They were really, really good today.
I agree. And it's funny, in this game, the two best players I thought for the Vancouver Canucks were two of their trade pickups. I thought Lindholm was their best player up front, and Zadorov I thought was excellent on the back end. Yeah, two former Flames, whereas the Oilers had zero of their trade guys in the lineup tonight, as all three of the guys they got at the deadline were sitting in the press box. Now, answer me this one, Struds. The Miller goal, which, first of all, that's world class. That deflection is world class. You can put 90% of the NHL players there in practice. They're not going to deflect that one in. Seriously, that's how good it was. But does Nurse go to him instead of staying away from him? Should Nurse have just, if you just go tie his stick up, put the stick between his legs. I don't know. This is, as a forward, you're trying to get away, so he's moving further and further. The reason he's on the goal line, he's trying to get away from Nurse. Yeah. But should Nurse take another step forward and take the stick away?
Well, I do feel that the error was committed at the blue line by not getting the puck out. I think that is, to me, the bigger issue of the two. I thought when the puck went down, maybe he didn't have his stick on the ice. I believe it was close or on the ice, to the ice. He could have slid over and done that. You don't necessarily think you're going to tip that bad boy in there. Like,
that was
the guys
unbelievable.
off the side. Like, you're kind of like,
that's a great tip.
So I have a hard, yes, Brownie, he could have gone over there, but I believe that the problem happened, whatever it was, earlier, 7 seconds prior. So that shouldn't even been a situation, quite frankly.
Fair.
I know it's not always the best kept stat. It's not the be all end all, but Cody Ceci and Darnell Nurse combined for 0 hits in this game. 0. Darnell Nurse, 6'3", whatever he weighs. This guy used to be a menace. This guy used to intimidate people. This guy used to physically dominate at times. I don't remember the last time I saw Darnell Nurse physically dominate for any length of time at all. He has the skill set, and it's just not there, Struds. He has been tamed so much for whatever reason. It's like he would be the guy that would tap into whatever's needed and figure out a way, and his game is just leveled off emotionally so much. And I don't know where or why, but they need an engaged, emotional Darnell Nurse. No hits in a playoff game for Darnell Nurse. Yes, not the best kept stats. That can't be acceptable.
Yeah, so I think we have to be fair here, though. Kulak and Darnay also didn't have a hit, right? Bouchard had a deuce, and I think Ekholm had 1. So
they're not Darnell Nurse, man. Darnell,
I know, but
he plays the
fair,
game
man,
different.
No. That's unfair, because what is Darnay out there to do? He's not out there wheeling and dealing like Quinn Hughes. Like, if he's not hitting, is he really at his best? So I agree with you. Darnell and Ceci have to get engaged, but Kulak, I give a bit of a pass, but Darnay, I cannot give a pass to, man. He's got to get some hits.
Yeah, so add him to the list then for sure. But Darnell Nurse is a high-paid, big-minute defenseman that's shown he can do it. For Darnay, you got to be a little more careful, right? Darnell clearly has a different level of speed and agility to be able to get there and do it if he wants.
Yeah, no, and we kind of talked about that. I think he's got to be physical. There's no doubt about it. But the group as a whole, you got to make it uncomfortable for the other team. I think they did a pretty good job on Quinn Hughes. He was hit a few times quite hard. I thought they did a good job. But I thought early in the game, Canucks kind of set the tone physically, and I didn't think the Oilers responded as a whole. I thought Kane had a few hits.
Hyman, big hit.
Yeah, Hyman. But if you also look, I think it was the first goal, Joshua runs Hyman on the wall, and the puck goes behind. He pokes it behind, goal. It does produce stuff, and so, yeah, you have Zadorov, Susi. I think Myers is trying. I'm not sure always what he's trying to do out there, but those two guys for sure are being physical. And who's answering? Who's responding for the Oilers? I'm looking at 25 and 73 need to respond.
Those are good points. I thought a lot of talk before this series about Elias Pettersson. He's been very quiet for 25, 30 games, very quiet in the Nashville series. I thought he was good in this game. I noticed him. I did. I noticed him tonight. It's
early. Early. I thought as the game went on.
As the game went on, he got better and better, and he was noticeable. He created plays. I do remember Elias Pettersson getting hit in this hockey game. Here's a guy that you could have knocked out of the series, more or less, not with not like a dirty hit, but be physical on him because he has been quiet and he was lacking confidence. I thought he gained confidence as this game went on and got better and better. You do not want to allow him to wake up in a series because he has the ability to change the game with one shot. So I thought, as going on what you were talking about, Struds, I don't think the Oilers were physical enough on the forwards of the Vancouver Canucks. The Garlands, the Bessers, JT Miller, Pettersson. I think those guys were, I think it was much quieter for those guys tonight than it was for the 6 games against the Nashville Predators.
All right, time now for the UCAN Youth Services Relentless Player of the Night. UCAN is an Edmonton charity relentless in helping youth aged 16 to 24 get out of harm's way and get employment. Visit ucan.ca to see how your donation can change lives right here in our community. Strudy?
Dakota Joshua. This guy, I thought he was a handful. He was a
Mr.
Really
Game One, hey?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, and he, I go back to when he rocked time in there and it's got separation from the puck. He was involved all night. Can skate, can play well. To be fair, Holloway was on the radar halfway through the game, and then things turned. And I try when I watch the game, I try to see who my eyes are drawn to, right? And who am I watching? He led home Zadorov. Those are 3 guys that I could not take my eyes off, and especially when you consider, Quinn Hughes, who has the puck on his stick a ton. So, Dakota Joshua, boom.
He had a loud game, and when you have a loud game, if you're that kind of player, it's a loud game. It's usually in a good way. So I agree, Struz. I thought he was excellent. He, Lindholm, and Zadorov were the 3 best players for the Canucks in this hockey game.
I think that's a good one. That Dakota Joshua, man, couple of early series, real solid games where he manages to be part of the story. And that line, man. What did you guys think of the Oilers' 3rd and 4th lines tonight, Struds?
The 3rd line, I thought they had their moments in there. They're getting after it pretty well. But it's hard because you're overshadowed by, I don't know who the 3rd line is. Is it supposed to be Pettersson or is it supposed to be Lindholm? Yeah. So I think that was
McLeod went against Pettersson almost all night tonight.
Yeah. So I guess then that would make him the 3rd line. Oh, it's hard to believe you have a almost $12 million guys on your 3rd line. But and then for the 4th line, I didn't like Brown's game tonight. I thought that, he's excited to go do it and kind of takes that penalty for no reason. Everyone's looking at you, right? Couple of misses. So the 4th line, I think we'll probably see a change there. Guys, what do you think, Brownie?
Yeah, I agree. Derek Ryan won some faceoffs as the right-hand guy. That was good. But yeah, I've been on the 4th line. You cannot take silly penalties, because if you take a silly penalty, guess what? You're not on the 4th line next game. You're in the press box. And I know that there'll be people who say, well, it wasn't much. He grabbed the back of his shirt. He gave the ref an opportunity to make a call.
He has to call 50
that. Yep.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like you just can't do that. You just can't do that if you're on the 4th line. And the thing is, you're chasing Hughes down. You got a chance to send him flying. So I agree with you. The 4th line was very quiet.
Yeah, I think we'll see Carrick in next game. I think they're going to want to add a little more physicality. I think that's a no-brainer.
You're probably going to see Janmark back on the 4th round and 4th line, and you'll have probably Fogle going up to the 1st line, unless Henrique's back in the lineup, which I have no idea.
Okay, maybe we'll save a little bit of that for our next segment. We'll talk a little bit about what next, how you regroup, and what this looks like moving forward for the Oilers. Zuby, you got a scoreboard ready, buddy? We didn't talk ahead of time.
You betcha.
You betcha. Okay, time now for our scoreboard, brought to you by DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center, aiming to help you play better golf with golf fitting, instruction, after-sales support, merchandising, clothing, celebrating 25 years. That's a great local business. Check out their pro shop, style atmosphere, 5311 99th Street in Edmonton. I can't wait to hear what the scoreboard music is going to be tonight, Zubers.
I'm sticking with the funk. I like the funk.
Creep.
When I look this one up on the website, it's called Scoreboard Funk. It's not, but it.
Hi, I'm here to fix your radiator. Yeah.
All right. Only one other game. Only one other game tonight. Florida evens their series with Boston after a 6-1 rout on home ice. Alexander Barkov with 2 goals, 2 assists. Reinhardt with 4 assists. Panthers chased Jeremy Swayman early in the third period. 146 penalty minutes in the third period alone as things got a bit testy. And we'll see if that continues. That series headed to Boston, to Boston for the first time on Friday for Game 3, evened up at 1. And then there was that other game tonight, and I don't want to talk about it. You guys are doing enough talking about it. I don't want to talk about it.
I forget you're a fan sometimes because we just do our thing. I forget. You're sitting in the back.
Uh-oh. We had Shaggy freeze on us. I guess that means it's a good time to go to commercial.
All right, it's a good time to start talking about Shaggy. Can't say nothing.
All right, we got a 1-minute commercial break here. Hopefully we can get him back in here. Be right back, folks. Hopefully with Ryan.
The fastest growing male grooming company on the planet just got even better. Backscape 2.0 with a revolutionary friction fit handle makes the razor easy to pop in and out to shave not only your back, but anywhere on your body. And those hard to reach spots just got even easier with the new ergonomic design. Backscape's new titanium shave head makes for a smoother, more comfortable shave that respects your skin. Backscape 2.0. Stay smooth, gentlemen.
On paper, my life looks exciting.
In reality, not so much.
Every day it's same old, same old.
Clock in, clock out.
Then I discovered Play Alberta. I can play casino games anytime.
Bet on any game.
And buy lottery tickets anywhere in Alberta. I think my spleen is ruptured.
All right. Looks like it's Jason Strudwick and Rob Brown.
We're going to get I'm in contact with Shaugger. We'll try to get him back in here.
I mean, you don't have to do it quickly. That's okay. Take your time.
Yeah, let me jump in here. We'll take it over. Let's get into takeaways, guys. Brought to you by FG Promotions. Your place for all your corporate and team merchandise from apparel, jerseys, gifts, and golf tournament prizes. Corporate customers get more personal discounts on golf gear for their employees. Top shelf quality and amazing customer service. Visit fgpromo.ca and score 10% off your first order when you mention Got Your Back. All right, as we wait for Shaugger to get in, there's a couple of things I want to get in here anyway. So let's jump in a quick. Brownie, in your mind, how big were the face-off challenges the Oilers had? I believe they were 37% tonight.
Well, yeah, I mean, Connor McDavid, I think, was in the 30%. Lindholm was fantastic in face-offs, and every big face-off in the defensive zone, the Oilers would throw out in the offensive, they throw out their best line on icings, things like that, and the Canucks just kept winning them. So the Oilers weren't able to take advantage of icings. They weren't able to take advantage. At the end of the game, face-offs, the Canucks won when the Oilers had the goalie pulled. So, yeah, I think the Oilers have so many set plays, Struds, off of one face-offs, more than any team in the National Hockey League. They create so many scoring chances, but you can't do those set plays if you don't win the face-off. So, yes, I think the Vancouver Canucks did a fantastic job in the draw, Lindholm especially.
We got Shaugger back.
Yo, you guys got me?
There he is. Yeah, we just talked about some face-off action. Where do you want to take it? Do you want to talk about the lineup for next?
Yeah,
okay.
I mean there was some key draws you got to win for sure. And I think early on in the game that was kind of a story. They were getting beat up in the face-off circle quite a bit. So I think that's a good point, Strudy, for sure. I think who had good nights tonight? I think McLeod had an okay night tonight. And I think Derek Ryan, if I recall correctly, I'm just taking a quick look here. McDavid was 28%. Yeah. Nugent Hopkins was 30%. Ryan McLeod, 67%. Leon was 29%. Ryan was 50%. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a game within the game, the battle within the battle. and the Oilers definitely got beat up in that one tonight. I got a good one in here on our chat. This is from Echo in Yukon Territories. First-time caller, long-time listener. Nuge not burying one into an open net to make it 5-2 was a killer. Oilers blow opportunity to steal a road win playing below their capability. I'm so pissed at the loss. I can't sleep. I will hang up and listen. LOL. So big thanks to Echo for chiming in there. Definitely blown opportunity, Brown. Like, you're up like that? Oh, you got to close in the playoffs, man. That's not a lesson the Oilers should be learning the hard way at this stage in their playoff development.
No, and a great point by that guy writing in. I mean, Nugent Hopkins, I think it was McLeod from behind the net. That was a great play.
Sick
I mean,
play.
yeah, I mean, Shelov's still looking for it. He still hasn't seen the puck. Comes back, Nuge has the entire open net to shoot at. And like literally, like if he hits the net, it's in. And he just kind of pulls it a little bit, hits the post. But that would have been the end of the hockey game. So, but going back to faceoff, Struds, Leon Draisaitl is one of the best faceoff guys in the National Hockey League. For him to be at 20-some%, A, the Canucks did a good job, but two, if you've got a sore back,
yeah,
probably not as good in the faceoff circle. So again, we have no idea what's wrong with Leon, but that would, whatever he had, it would affect his faceoffs as well.
Yeah, just judging on his ability to compete, like and physically battle. I would suggest that, you know, he's sore. So, you know, face-offs is a very hard battle.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're not hitting someone, you sure as hell don't want to go in there and battle on a face-off. So that's where the loss of Henrique is now compounded, right? You know, if he, let's just say, assume that Leon plays and he's at something less than 100% and Henrique's not in there. Well, now all of a sudden your draw options are down quite a bit. Connor had a tough night in the face-off. Yeah, he can get there. There's no doubt it. But Derek Ryan maybe bringing Carrick, but you know that changes it quite a bit. You know, your middle section of meat of centers is all of a sudden maybe either reduced in ability and or you know eating the popcorn upstairs.
Strugs, I like where you were taking this in your own direction. So you want to direct the rest of this takeaway segment, buddy? You can take us where you want to go. Like, what else you want to talk about?
Well, I think I'm glad that the listener chatted about that missed opportunity from Nugent Hopkins, but I do think we have to talk a little bit about what the lineup looks like. And I'm going to say Leon's in there, but I'm guessing Leon. Here I go again. I don't believe he can play center if you can't take draws. You know, maybe and if you can't compete down low, Brownie. You know, if you're unable to fight down low, can you play center in your own zone?
Well, no, not as effectively. I think Leon's tolerance of pain is more than most of us by quite a bit. I mean, he played on, I've had a high ankle sprain. Those put you on crutches, and he played a couple of years ago, played an entire series and dominated. So I am hold out hope that by Friday, Leon will be in a much better place physically and will be able to win faceoffs and we'll be able to win the battles on the boards. He is all world when it comes to playoff hockey. The Oilers desperately need him at his playoff best. But it will be interesting, as you say, lineup. What if there are any lineup changes going into game 2? Do you see Carrick in this series? Is Henrique good enough to come back? Will he come back in game 2? And on the other side, do the Vancouver Canucks start the same goaltender? Or do they go to Casey Smith? Because that goaltender, he was not good.
There's no way you're pulling him. No, if they didn't pull him after the second period, there's no way he's not starting that next game. I think that's his. There were 2 times where the Oilers dumped the puck and he couldn't catch it. It hit his glove and bounced off. So I don't know. You cheer for the kid. He's a young kid getting his chance in the National Hockey League. But this is, again, it's an upgrade in who you're playing against. But yeah, whichever team gets the better goaltending on Friday, whichever team's goaltender bounces back has got a good chance of winning that hockey game, because I think both goaltenders were a little under par today.
What do we think of? Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Chuck. No, go ahead, buddy.
We're kind of like fighting over who's hosting right now.
Yeah. No, go for it, buddy. You got it.
What do you guys think of Chris Knobloch's night? Like the decisions that he had to make, right? Who's he going to play on the McDavid line? Did he maybe not put enough pop on that line? Did he make those other two a little easier to cover? Because Janmark wasn't really a lot of a threat. So, and it's hindsight. What did we think of that decision? Some think maybe he should have called a timeout at some point. Maybe with the net empty when they had that whistle, get everybody a chance to break and grab a breather, but they didn't use the timeout. So those were being, carefully rationed as well. It's nitpicking a little bit, but he's had a lot of good nights and a lot of compliments. Maybe didn't seem to find the touch when things weren't going quite right.
Well, the Janmark decision, to me, I thought that was going to be one that he would play there based on what the score in the game was. And the Oilers were in the lead most of the game, protecting the lead. So he was playing up on the first line. We saw a whole jumble of lines there for a while because when Leon left, then everything just got thrown in the mixer. And Connor was playing with a bunch of different players. To me, I see nothing wrong with what Knobloch did tonight. I think that the Oilers team wasn't as good as it needed to be, and their goaltender wasn't as good as it needed to be. And at the end of the day, win and lose with what you have on the ice. And I just think that the Vancouver Canucks had more desperation in their game than the Oilers did tonight.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't think they deserved to be up what they were up when they were there. Like I think you got to be careful. They dominated for 2 periods, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that it was their goalie was a little bit shaky as well. But no, the Janmark. I actually thought Janmark had a pretty smart, good game. This is what Janmark does. Janmark doesn't hurt you offensively, but doesn't create a ton offensively, right? And then on defensive, he's generally in the right places. Like some of the plays he makes with the puck are so smart, just to get the pressure off of you or put it in the other team's end. Like I love the way he plays, but those don't always create a lot of offense. So we want to pull Janmark out. Who are you going to put on that line? Warren Foegele. Okay, that's an option for sure. Connor Brown, I don't see him as an option after what happened tonight. I think that's probably unlikely. More likely, he's probably sitting out. Unfortunately for him, it's his brutal feeling. Dylan Holloway, the third line, I thought had some decent moments. So it kind of by the process of elimination, who am I left with? Foegele. That's it, and that's assuming Leon plays, right? So I think you got to be careful. Like it's not there's a ton of options with Henrique out.
No, I think you're right.
Yeah,
I think you're right, Struds.
I mean, guys, there was a 20 goal scorer there, and I know that Foegele had started up there and ended up getting moved down. He's been bounced down the lineup here a couple of times, but it would seem to me that might have gone with the guy that put in a pile of goals this year on the offensive line, because the one thing that the Canucks didn't have to worry about, as good as Janmark is defensively, they could basically ignore him in the offensive zone and just focus on those other two. Like in the offensive zone, and I won't say it died on his stick a lot, but it definitely wasn't dangerous on his stick a lot.
True, but I mean, it's easy to look after the fact. I mean, on this last podcast, there was a dark horse of having Connor Brown up on the first line. Yeah. So to me, it's easy when we look after the game. Should Janmark in there? We all, all right, Janmark's going to start there. The Oilers get a lead. He's safe. To me, the Oilers losing this hockey game had nothing to do with Janmark being on the first line. The Oilers, all 4 lines in the final 40 minutes were not good. They generated, 7 shots in the final 40 minutes? Yeah. That's not that Janmark came out every 4th shift. So the Oilers just weren't good enough from top to bottom. The Oilers game tonight, I thought Leon was very good in the first period, then he got hurt. I thought Hyman had an excellent game, and I thought Ekholm had a good game. I think the rest of the Oilers were not as good as they're capable of playing, and I think they will be better on Friday night.
I think both teams.
All right, good stuff.
Yep.
This takeaway is brought to you by FG Promotions. Okay, let's get to Brownie Point, shall we? Brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky, the best segment on the podcast. This Alberta-based family-owned business opened in 1962. Their beef jerky's out of this world. Literally, they sent their sweet and spicy jerky to the International Space Station in 2009 as part of a project to introduce authentic yet space-friendly food. They actually sent their beef jerky to space. And for the entire month of May, £1.50, $55, free shipping, mix and match their 14 flavors. Fast shipping anywhere in the province. Visit albertajerky.com. It is fantastic. Rob Brown recommends the teriyaki.
Oh, it is fantastic. It is really, really good. I sometimes have it while I'm doing the show at 1:30 in the morning. All right, brownie points. Here we go. Let's start with, I'm giving 4 brownie points to the Western Conference teams, because what we've seen in the first 2 games of the Western Conference semifinals is a 3-goal lead is not enough. You need a 4-goal lead if you want to win hockey games. Both Dallas and Edmonton have lost with 3-goal leads, so 4 brownie points to those teams. I'm giving 29 magic brownie points to Leon Draisaitl, hoping that he heals somehow between now and Friday night. The Oilers desperately need a healthy Leon Draisaitl. I'm taking away 800 brownie points from both goalies tonight.
Whoa.
Both goalies, subpar 800 save percentage. That doesn't win you hockey games usually, but a 765 save percentage for, how do I say the kid's name in Vancouver again? What's the goalie's names? I mess it up every time. Sheloff. 765 save percentage for Sheloff. Still won a hockey game, but both goaltenders need to be better. I'm 9 brownie points to Zach Hyman. His magic years continued. He's got 9 goals now here in the playoffs in only 6 games. It's been a fantastic start to the playoffs for Zach Hyman. And the last one, I'm giving 88.19 brownie points to David Pasternak and Matthew Tkachuk. They had, as the announcers were calling them, multiple 5-on-5 at the end of the game that Jason Strudwick says are a waste of time because all they do is hug and roll around and just tire each other out. The only 2 guys that dropped their gloves tonight were the superstar David Pasternak and the superstar Matthew Tkachuk. So 88.19 brownie points to 2 stars that dropped their gloves and fought at center ice tonight in the Florida Panther Boston Bruin game.
Ready?
I will reserve comment on that fight because that is the focus on my Strudy world.
Okay.
Oh, and that is coming up next. So how's that for a teaser? That was brownie points brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. You're getting pretty liberal with these points, man. 100 million last show, 800 this show.
No, but I took 800 away though.
Wrapping their heads around, what is the brownie point worth? You're devaluing the brownie points like Bitcoin. Yeah. It's just like, what is it?
I don't know what it's worth. You never give me any guidelines, so I just throw them around like candy. Here you go.
That's fair. I basically just said do whatever the hell you want. Okay, when we come back, Struddy's World. We'll see if Struddy can regain the title as best segment on the podcast. Brownie's got it right now. That and tons more still ahead. Stay with us.
Long Shots Golf is the destination for both golf enthusiasts and sports fans. Top-of-the-line TrackMan simulators provide a highly entertaining and accurate golf experience, while a full-service sports bar loaded with big screens and scratch kitchen make it a truly unique destination. They have locations in Sherwood Park and Edmonton. Experience the best indoor golf and sports bar in town. Visit longshots.ca. That's longshots with a Z.ca.
Spring is here, and if you're thinking of buying a new home during the housing market hot period, contacting a mortgage broker should be your first step. Maria Gallus with Maximo Mortgages can guide you with a stress-free experience. With access to dozens of different lenders, Maria's simplistic approach and expert advice will have you ready to put an offer in on your dream home. Take the stress out of your mortgage journey. Contact Maria Gallus at mortgagesbymaria.ca. That's mortgagesbymaria.ca.
For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has been delivering a high-quality golf experience to Edmonton and area. This beautiful private club, located on Highway 21 just south of Sherwood Park, occupies 160 acres and presents a challenging yet adventurous 18-hole design. A beautiful clubhouse, fully stocked pro shop, and warm, friendly staff truly make it feel like you belong to something unique and special. Visit www.belvederegcc.com.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy.
Gotta look good.
Time now for Struudy's World, brought to you by Shipwreck Rum. If you haven't yet had the experience of this amazing flavored rum blended on the Caribbean island of St. Kitts, gotta grab a bottle today. They've been doing this for decades now. Spiced rum is aged 4 years in bourbon barrels infused with natural vanilla. So get Shipwrecked, Oiler fans, available at your local liquor retailer. And as always, please enjoy responsibly. Struudy, let's talk about some fisticuffs, buddy.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I love that everyone else is fighting. Why would you send out your superstar Pasternak? Pasternak, if you didn't see it, he turns on the bench and him and Tkachuk are going back and forth. Pasta turns around. I love that nickname, by the way. And you can see that him and Jim Montgomery have a conversation. Oh, you want to fight him? That's what Montgomery says. It's like, all right, go out there and fight. Why would you send that guy out? He has no history of fighting. That'd be like sending the least skilled player out for a must-win penalty shot situation. It makes no sense. Tkachuk, he doesn't fight a ton, but he's fought enough to know how to handle himself, how to make it happen. When Tkachuk sees that passes going out there, he's trying to hurt him. Maybe break his nose, maybe break his hand. There is nothing you're going to win. And I saw both coaches after. Oh, it's good. You know, it's I love seeing the two guys battling. Yeah, Maurice is going to love that because that's the other team's best player. And there's a chance he could get hurt in that fight. A small chance. And I'm not talking about concussions. I'm talking about a broken nose. I'm talking about a broken hand, jam a finger, anything. If I'm Jim Montgomery, I say, Pasta, I love that you want to go out there, but you have one choice. You can stay on our bench or you can walk back to the dressing room. There is zero chance in hell you're going out there to fight that guy because you're giving him what he wants. I'm sorry, guys. I do not endorse that fight at all. If it's someone else, if you want to send out Witherspoon, you want to send out Chucky McAvoy, you want to send out the ghost of Milan Lucic, that's fine. Do not send out your superstar. Can you imagine if the Oilers sent out Connor McDavid to go fight Dakota Joshua tonight? There'd be mayhem in the streets. Makes no sense, and that's a fail by their coach.
Whoa,
You're right.
Whoa.
No, I agree. I agree 100%.
Okay.
I agree 100%.
Go ahead, Brent. You go ahead.
Yeah, I agree 100% with Struds.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if you watched the fight. Obviously, Struds, did you not?
Yeah, I saw. He took it.
He
took it off the chin.
That was one huge punch, and then when he was falling back, he went back. I kept thinking his knee. He's going to twist his knee. Remember a couple of yeyears ago, Taylor Hall got into a fight and blew his ankle out or knee out and missed a long period of time. Well, and I little disagree with him. You don't send Charlie McAvoy out there either. I mean,
I'd rather have Charlie than him.
But
take
you're
anybody.
Right. Pasternak's had one fight in his career. I think it was in 2018. Crazy. I think we looked it up. No, it's like, well, I would have turned around to Hitch and said, hey, Hitch, can I fight? And I'd be like quietly saying, say no, Hitch. Say no. Yeah. Just shake your head no, Hitch. Just shake your head no. But you're right. Matthew Tkachuk can fight. Matthew Tkachuk can fight.
How about the fact that you've got a guy who's been called out, right? A guy who this coach has been hard on and wants him to compete, wants him to be in the fight. And this guy comes to you. It's not like he was fighting the fourth line plug. He was fighting one of the other team's best players too. Not like it was a crazy mismatch in weight.
It was
not.
It was a crazy mismatch.
Sure.
It was a mismatch.
That's a crazy mismatch.
In fighting ability, What about the idea? Your player turns and looks at you and goes, "You know what? I'm going to go do this," and you're going to tell him no. Your guy wants 100%. To be in the fight. Your guy wants to compete. Your guy wants to get out there and you have challenged this player. You have challenged this player and wanted more from him, and you're going to tell him that no, he can't go get in the fight? Come on.
Yes.
Yep, 100%.
That's exactly what I say.
Yep. Zero chance I let David Pasternak fight.
If I was a teammate, I'd say there's no chance you're going out there. What are you doing? What does that do? Everyone knows you're going to get your ass kicked by this guy. And then, not that that's the bad part. The bad part is you could get hurt. We need you. We need you in this
Tkachuk fight.
Yeah.
Like, no disrespect to him. Like, he's scrappy and he'll go. When was the last time you saw him hurt anybody in a fight or come close to it.
It doesn't matter.
It's not the punch. It's not the punch that's going to hurt him. It's getting twisted and falling down.
Yeah,
the fight, like I was worried when Pasternak went down that he blew his knee out. I thought he did. So yes, 100%. You do not send. Would you want Connor McDavid going out and fighting?
Never. It could be against Johnny Gaudreau. I wouldn't send Connor McDavid out there.
No,
it could
that's
be
not his
against
job.
Nathan Gerby. I wouldn't send Connor McDavid out there. There is no one I would say you can fight at the end of a game, a premeditated fight. There's no chance. It's crazy. It is a massive mistake by a coach that should know better. He should know
100%. I agree 100%. This is your best ever studies work. I agree 100%.
I've had lots of great ones. But
guys don't get hurt in fights that often.
The
guy
I saw Taylor Hall get hurt.
To...
Actually, Connor McDavid got hurt in junior in a fight.
But
I think he missed
it.
Guys. Yeah. Taylor Hall.
I
watched Taylor Hall
into the fight, man. He wanted to up the compete level, get into the fight, set the tone for next game. I get it.
That doesn't set the tone. That changes nothing about next game. Changes zero. Changes zero about next game.
To be in. When a leader and a veteran on his team is like, I want to go do this,
matter.
You're really going to shut him down and say no?
100%. That's your job as a coach.
That's what you have to
do. And then out of the other side of your mouth, talk about him needing to compete more. I don't know that.
Well, competing isn't fighting. Competing isn't fighting.
It's not the same. It's not the same. You're getting the mixed messaging. You can't. It's not even true. I would have said, don't go out. As a team, I'd be like, you're not going out there. I'll go out there and I'll slash him on the ankle, break his ankle, take the suspension. I'm not allowing you to go out there and fight. You're too valuable to our team.
You guys are talking about
sending
them out there to fight. They didn't. It's not like they tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Hey, go do this."
No,
the player was like,
he could have said no.
No.
I wouldn't have had Pasternak on the ice the last 5 minutes of the game. Zero chance. Would you send out Connor McDavid to fight?
No, it's not a chance. Or
I'm asking Shaugger. Shaugger, would you ask Connor McDavid to fight? Tell him he could fight?
Not a chance. Not a chance.
They didn't ask Pasternak to fight. But
if Connor McDavid said, I'm going to go out and fight Matthew Tkachuk, would you let Connor McDavid fight Matthew Tkachuk in a playoff game?
Hey man, I don't know. I don't know if as a coach you sit there and say you got your guys looking at you. They're out there battling.
I'm asking you. I'm asking you right now. If Connor McDavid said, "I'm going to go out and fight Matthew Tkachuk," you would say, "Okay."
I don't know. I might say, "Are you sure?" Like,
no. You just said yes to Pasternak.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, I've got this." You're like, no. All right, man.
No,
you're the captain.
No, you don't.
You're a grown adult.
No, you don't. Because he goes out and gets hurt, and then all of a sudden your series is done. Pasternak gets hurt, the Boston Bruins don't win another game.
Yeah. This isn't Jerome
Every
McGinley
time you send him over the boards, he might get hurt. Every time you send him
but you're not sending him
over
over to fight. You're sending him over. No, that's completely different.
So different.
If you've been in an NHL fight, you do not send your superstar to do it.
Everyone's like, oh, just like McGinley versus Le Cavalier. It's not like that at all. Those are guys that fought. They were big. They've been in fights. Pasternak, I don't think he even knew how to drop his gloves. Someone had to pull him off, so he knew how to fight. Like, it doesn't work.
Well, you're just asking him to go get beat up. You're just saying, all right, go get beat up by Matthew Tkachuk. Yeah. And he did.
To prove what? I don't get it.
Let's see what Pasternak does the next couple of games, you guys.
It
doesn't matter. It does not matter. No, it does not matter. Pasternak.
I completely disagree. He's entering the fray. He's getting into the fight. And when players
get into the fight by throwing a body check, by going hard to the net, by
courage to do, Brownie. You know that takes a different level of courage to do. To go out there in a premeditated fight, drop your gloves.
100%. That's why you tell him not to do it. He's too good.
Yeah. There's value in doing that.
Would you let Connor McDavid go into a premeditated fight?
Zero value.
No, I'm asking you, Shaugger. Would you let Connor McDavid go into a premeditated fight with a guy that knows how to fight?
If Connor McDavid was telling me I'm going out there to do this, I mean, he's your captain. He knows what's at stake. He and I don't know that he's asking permission, So I hear what you guys are saying.
You would say yes to Connor McDavid to go fight Matthew Tkachuk.
I don't know that I would be telling him no.
Well, you're just saying yes. You're saying yes to Pasternak, and you're saying we're silly that we're not saying yes to it.
I'd say
Pasternak is the Boston Bruins Connor McDavid. And Connor McDavid is much stronger than Pasternak.
Yeah. I'd say,
Anyway.
listen, I appreciate it, Past. I love the intention, but you're not going out there.
No, zero chance.
Is Zuby playing us out? Zuby, are you playing us out?
Yes, I am.
That's good timing by you. Hey, you know what? This might be the new best segment on the podcast. That was Struudy's World, brought to you by Brinley's Shipwreck Rum. I like that. Zuby, how's the stream on that? How are the comments on that? Was there how was everyone doing?
It's
take
a bit of both.
Shaggy. Boba Fett says take the L, Shaggy. What else we got on here? Yeah, I'm taking a bit of a beating on the stream. I'll take the loss, guys. What do we got, Zuby? No more commercials, right? Time to take a lap, or are we letting Brownie go?
I was expecting to let Brownie go for taking a lap, but he doesn't have to.
Yeah. Brownie, you want to scoot? You got to go to bed, buddy?
Yeah, I got to get up in a few hours and teach the young children of tomorrow how to back check and power skate. So I probably should get some sleep for that. Good night, everybody.
Buddy. Thank you.
Hey, buddy.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
See you, Brownie.
All right, Strudy, let's you and I then take a lap, my friend. Brought to you by our good friends over at Backscape, the fastest growing male grooming company on the planet. And it just got even better with the Backscape 2.0. Engineered with the friction fit handle, lets you effortlessly snap the shaver in and out to touch up the rest of your body. And the new titanium shave head gives a smoother, more comfortable shave that respects your skin. We got a promo code for you, GYB10. Get you 10% off the advanced and deluxe kits. Go to backscape.com. That's BAKscape.com. Stay smooth, gentlemen. Okay, Struds, where do you want to go, buddy?
Yeah, well, we've kind of covered the game, so let's we'll go to some news of the day around the NHL. And today is confirmed.
Sure.
Ryan Smith, the new owner of the Utah hockey franchise, released 20 potential names for the team from Salt Lake City, and a survey. He's going to ask fans to make it happen. You get to vote before, the initial round of voting finishes the 22nd of May. Then it kind of goes on from there. But anyways, some of the samples of 20s we've heard some before: Mountaineers, Fury, Yeti, Mammoth. Caribou. The one I love, HC. I love HC, just hockey club. I think it's so good.
You do, eh?
My Weber in there. So anyway, so we're going to do that. So the team won't have a name or colors for the year or anything official. After they get the name, they'll start working up on the colors and all that stuff. So I like the process he's taking this through. I'm sure he has his favorite, but I like HC Utah or HC Salt Lake.
I have to say, Struz, I was so busy kind of with game prep and everything today. I actually haven't had a chance to look at the list. Do you have it in front of you there? Okay. And maybe for anybody else that didn't have a chance to see the list, can you read out some other ones that are potentials?
Okay. So we have Blast, Frost, Freeze, Outlaws, Venom, Squall, Black Diamonds, Ice, and Hive. Those would be kind of, I guess, Swarm, Blizzard, kind of a lot of them around the winter or the weather, I guess, but yeah, I just go off what Washington Football Club. They had the Washington Football Club, right? I like that. And I no one else really does it in now they do it in soccer or football, whatever you want to call it, but non-hockey.
Yeah.
Not North America. I'd like to see it. I think it'd be something cool.
Especially
HC, but not long term though. Do you just mean temporarily, or like you're talking long term? Like name them that.
I'm talking forever. Yeah, HC hockey.
No. You can't do that. You need a brand. You need a logo. You need a theme. You need a, don't you?
I don't. I thought it worked well for Washington Football Club. I like that, but hey, maybe I'm looking for a change too. Like, do any of those names really jump off the page? And I know we'll get one of them. Maybe the Yeti. I like the Yeti.
Yeah, Taves DeCane says has to be Utah Yeti. There's something pretty that rolls off the tongue nice, man. Utah Yeti.
It does. Yeah, and I can live with that. And listen, I'm not going to live and die with the name of a team, but if you're trying to be different, I maybe take a stab at it. Then you can really do whatever you want.
Yeah. Very good. What's next?
Next up, just a quick little ditty. Not surprising here, Steve Staios has to give up one of his first rounders over the next 3 years, counting this year, because of the whole situation with some illegal trading. As a penalty, basically. And they said it won't be this year. He has a 7th overall pick. I'm not surprised it's not this year. I'm guessing he thinks the team's going to get better every year. And maybe by the 3rd year, that's a 20 pick, maybe, which we don't know. I mean, we can talk about the sense going up, but I like this move by Staios. going to keep the 7th overall pick this year. Makes sense.
So they keep the 7th overall pick. They'll forfeit their first rounder in either 2025 or 2026. And this goes back to, like, there's some rules, Strudy, about what teams can ask you to do in the off season, right? When you can trade, when you can't, what's team sanctioned, whether you put pressure on players to be part of it. Like, there's some pretty sticky rules, and the PA is very involved in all this kind of stuff too. But the Cole's notes on it.
Is that the trade with Dandanoff, right? That's where they got this.
Oh, okay. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, I just grabbed something that wasn't the right thing. So my apologies. I thought it was something different.
Yeah, I believe that's what.
But yeah, just making sure. Yeah, so Dadanoff to the Vegas Golden Knights and the invalidated trade that would have sent him forward to Vegas and the Ducks and all that kind of thing. That's a tough one, man. That's tough to be losing assets like that because of a trade you're trying to make.
Oh, and that's that was the final straw for their previous general manager, right? So that was kind of it. So it sucks, but I just don't think you just don't cut out the 7th overall pick, right? You hang on to that. So they'll have a 7th overall pick, and they have a lot. That team and the Maple Leafs, I think it's going to be fascinating to watch Ontario. What happens there this off season.
All right, that was Taking a Lap, brought to you by Backscape. Sorry about that. I got a little bit confused on that one. All right, let's get to the stream. Lots of great action, and we really appreciate everybody that has been active and joining in and chatting lots. By the way, we'll ask you to hit the thumbs up if you don't mind. I think that helps. The more you hit the thumbs up, then I think the more Oiler fans we get in front of, eyeballs and ears. So if you don't mind, if you're enjoying the live stream, give us a thumbs up here on YouTube. Ask Us Anything tonight, brought to you by Match Eatery and Public House, your destination for all the sports action, big screens, ice cold beer, all your favorite pub favorites perfected. Match Eatery and Public House, located adjacent to Rogers Place in the Grand Villa Casino. You can check out their menu, check out their atmosphere, check it all out at matchpub.com. Zuby, as we welcome you in here, did you quickly want to weigh in on the Pasternak to Chuck thing and just which side of the argument that you would be on? You sat back and listened to it.
No one changed my mind, and my original thought was I don't want him fighting. So sorry, Shaugger. I'm not on your. I don't have your back on that one. I understand your argument, but I don't want that guy fighting. I don't. If it happens, if it comes about spur of the moment in the game, but to give him the nod, yeah, go ahead, go for it. Even if you've challenged him, I don't know. There's other ways. There's other ways to try to get that out of him. I don't think I worry about a broken hand. And though we know those injuries don't happen very often in fighting, but I feel like they happen more often with guys who don't fight a lot.
I got caved in on this one.
That'd be my
I got absolutely caved in on this one. All right. Well, what else we got, pal?
Okay. Well, let's go here. I don't know how you guys are going to feel about this, but we had tons of comments tonight about timeouts. I'll take one. Calder Knowles said, is it just me or do coaches just hold the timeouts too much? Why not call the timeout when they score the even up goal? Settle the boys, drives me nuts. That said, amazing game, fun to watch. But lots of people are up in arms that Knobloch didn't use a timeout after a goal tonight. Strudy, what's your thought on that?
Yeah, so the idea is maybe you use one after they get one or two, and you just try to calm everyone down. I get that, but you also might need it at the end of the game. And I've coached my kids. I'm not an NHL coach, but I always felt like, should I use it mid-game or early in the third here just to calm the troops, where I might need it at the end of the game. So it's really hard. I do understand it on a very much smaller level. I do think though there was an opportunity to, when they pulled the goalie, to call a timeout and just get everyone settled and kind of have a quick chat. The problem is if you call it there, what do you think the fans do? They're going nuts. And so you probably won't even be able to hear your coach anyways, because they're going to drown you out. And I've been through that as well. So maybe it's not just keep the momentum going. We'll try to get it going and not give the fans a chance to turn it up.
I think the time to do it was when they had the break with the goalie pulled. You've got star players that have been out there for a while. You got star players who are hurt. I think it was a chance for those guys to reset themselves, those guys to get a break. There's nothing that matters more than those guys in their readiness level for that moment. And I think it was an opportunity to give them a pause, let them get back up to full health, because those guys have ridiculous recovery after tough shifts. So I think that was the spot where the timeout was needed.
Bobo Fett says Oil own zone exit non-existent with fast heavy forecheck, bottled in a lot, rim arounds, and puck flips to exit. And then just to continue on that point, Graham Neal, spelled differently. I don't think it's Graham Neal that Ryan and I worked with at CFRN.
Graham Neal? Yeah.
Although he's a listener, but he says Kane has had such a hard time picking up the puck on the defensive half wall and clearing the zone. Any ideas why? Was it just that pressure tonight? And I guess what do you do if they're gonna pressure it that hard?
I thought actually both sets of demons on both teams, I thought they did a pretty good job of pinching down and kind of making it difficult to get it out. But that's a hard play. That's the hardest thing a winger has to do. After that, they've got the easiest jobs around, but they do have to fight to get that puck out on the wall. And you got to be, either, there's a couple options. You can reverse pinch and go at the D-man and run it out there, or you kind of turn your back to the guy, hang on to it and try to make a play, or you just throw it off the wall as quick as you can. But that'd be an area I think they really want to improve in, because those battles around the blue lines are huge. You don't want to come out of their end, and you've got to get it out of your end.
Yeah, just looking at Sport Logic on the controlled exit success rate. Actually, the Oilers had 87% success on the control. I guess that's controlled exits, which is maybe a little bit different than when they're pressured. But yeah, I thought, there were a couple of looks there. Kane took a couple pretty big hits tonight, I have to say. There were some big hits in this game. And Strudy, I don't know, man, as a winger, you are vulnerable when you're sitting on that wing and you're waiting for someone that's rimmed it around or high off the glass or something like that. I think to a certain degree, it's hard not to. And when I say hear footsteps, I don't mean that they're afraid. I mean, when you feel those footsteps, I just think there's not a lot of easy plays to be made. And it's one of the hardest things to do is to know a guy's coming. The puck's not quite there yet. You're trying to control it off the boards and make a smart play. That's a tough play to make.
It is, but what I hated as a D-man was when I'd get it to a forward and maybe through rim or
here we go.
on, and he would just throw it away, just careless, just if I've had 3 drinks tonight, I'll just throw this one away. Either hold on to it or make a play, but don't just hope it. Don't just throw it away, right? And that's.
I mean, that's if you put it on his stick. But if you rimmed it around the boards and he's got to pick it up with a skate, kick it to his stick, and by the time he does that, the guy's right on him.
Yeah,
that's
hold
tough
it.
stuff. I understand tape pass, sure.
Okay, but on the rim, block it, hold it, shield the puck, hang on to it. Keep it there. Don't put it somewhere you think someone's going to be, right? And not that the Oilers do that a ton, but that was a big pet peeve of mine. Listen, I rimmed it to you. I know I dropped you a turd burger, but at least do something better than I did with it.
Kirk Kenny says, if Henrique is out next game, move Hollywood up. You guys kind of talked about who might move up to that spot. I could be wrong. I don't recall that kind of coming up as an option. And apparently he led the team in hits tonight with 7, which is nice.
Yeah, also led the team in super dumb penalties, those 2 struts. I wondered if he was gonna get another shift after that, and I'm glad Knobloch put him back out. Here's the thing. This is what Dylan Holloway does, man. Lots of energy, frenetic energy. He gets buzzing out there. He's going. He's prone to doing that the odd time. And I think that hurt him tonight. Might have been in the conversation for it, but I don't know, Struds. That was a tough moment at a key point in the game where Vancouver was pushing.
Yeah, tough penalty to take. But I did think, I thought the first half he was really effective, getting all those hits and hitting. And he's strong enough to take on some of those bigger D-men. So I don't think there's any threat of coming out of the lineup for him. But moving up the lineup, I think that's unlikely.
Roblox Daniel Bryan says Corey Perry needs to be the rat again, or the worm, as it were. What did you think of his game, and do you think he needs to inject himself into this series in game 2?
Muted. I'd say he was pretty muted. There's the one time he took it off the wall and drove it to the net pretty easy, or quite nicely. But yeah, I think I'd like to see him get a little bit more, into that kind of greasy part of the game. Kane have to get into it. Holloway, they need to do that to slow down some of the attacking of Vancouver. So yeah, I'd be in favor of that. And we talked about that. But he had 10 minutes. He had some, couple moments. But yeah, I think there's another gear for him. But to be fair, I think everyone has another gear. Let's be completely honest here.
Yeah, I think that's fair. There was one moment I liked from him. Vancouver was pushing. I can't remember what goal it was right after. And he went out there and ended up flat on his stomach in the crease, right in the goalie's, grill, kind of extended his skate a little bit annoyingly to make sure that he was kind of in the goalie's space with it. And there was a little bit of a rat-like moment in there. And that was Corey Perry going out there and Corey Perrying. But it was only once. And other than that, I think muted is a great word spread.
Paulie wants to know what strategies need to be adjusted and what tactics must be executed to bounce back and switch momentum. What if you look at that game and the crowd's going to be loud, the forecheck's going to be brutal? If you're Coach Strudy or Coach Shaugger, what's a tweak? What's a tactical tweak they can make for Game 2?
Go ahead, Shaugger.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Let me think about that. A tactical tweak that they could make for Game 2. I think that I would like to see a little bit more consistent physical energy in the offensive zone. So dumping in and finishing checks. It's hard on Hughes and Hronik because they move the puck so well. But I think maybe just a little bit more physical energy on the forecheck. So maybe encouraging a few more dumps. If there's not a play to be made, don't be afraid to fire it in there and go in and finish some more checks and just be a little bit more physical and maybe ask that of some more guys. I know it's not super tactical, but it's more of a tone thing, I would say. And obviously, if you have a lead, don't sit back.
Yeah, I think you got to be aware of that. They send stretchers. They're trying to get guys out of the zone, so you got to be aware for that as D. And I thought they did a good job trying to, most part, keep it in front of them. I think there was one breakaway, Connor Garland early in the game, and that was a nice moment for Stu Skinner.
Not a good moment for Nurse and Cece.
No, that's fair. But I think you look at the penalty kill was solid. I think that's something they need to work on. The power play had one chance and it scored. So I think it's at 5-on-5, and that was something we kind of talked about. They got to, as a group, create more 5-on-5 heading into this series. And they didn't create a ton. Yeah, they scored 4 goals, 1 on the power play. I get that. But I didn't think there was a ton. You think of, the power play goal, Hyman's goal off the rush, from the blue line for Ekblad or Ekholm. It was very similar actually to the Zadorov in many ways. I'd like to see him just keep that ground and pound going. Try to get it going and holding that for the whole 3 periods.
Okay, 2 quick ones and then a final statement, and I'll wrap it up here. We're going long, but we had lots of good stuff on the stream tonight, so trying to get to it all. Does Sam Carrick, yes or no, does Sam Carrick draw into Game 2?
For sure. He's in there. Turn him loose.
Yeah, probably. I think so.
Okay, and same 2 goalies?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay, and then final one.
There's no chance the Oilers are going away from Skinner. Like anybody suggesting that.
Well,
zero chance that happens.
We got people on the stream bringing Jack Campbell in for next game, so.
Yeah. They're the same people that ran him out of town 6 months ago.
Yeah. Okay, final thing I wanted.
That's a good point by you.
I wanted to make this, or I wanted to add this because the same thing occurred to me. Ro Nelson said, well, they probably won't do that again. Oilers lost 9-6 to Flames and won the series in 5, so I expect a better Oiler team Friday, and I'm still taking them in 5. This loss will piss them off. Does this remind you at all of that Game 1 loss to Calgary from 2 years ago?
Yeah, as I was watching, I did think of that. I did.
Did they lead in that one? Did they have a big lead in that one?
I don't think they had a big lead, but I think they had a lead at one point in time.
But it was a chaotic game.
Yes.
It was just chaotic, right? And there seemed to be a lot happening. I think both teams will be more under control on Friday night. And I'm not sure who that's better for. Maybe the Oilers, but the way that I so value faceoffs. And I thought the Oilers had they did. They had a really rough night in the dot. And if you don't start with the puck, now you're chasing it down. That takes energy and that wears you down. Maybe not Game 1, but get Game 5, 6, or 7. You're still chasing pucks around. It's frustrating. So they got to figure out this face-off situation big time.
Draisaitl got chucked out of a couple of face-offs early in that game, and I don't know if maybe that messes with your rhythm. If you've got a linesman who is just holding you to a standard that feels off, and then you start to question it or second guess, or you're not as comfortable in your positioning. Like, he got thrown out a few times early in that game, and I think he was kind of off on that front for the rest of the night. That was Ask Us Anything, brought to you by Match Eatery and Public House. Time now to wrap up with our play of the day, brought to you by Play Alberta. The playoffs are nuts. We know that. This year, Play Alberta is making it even wilder. A deposit with promo code GYB50 snags you a $50 free sports bet with that next deposit. Get ready for unbeatable promotions throughout the playoffs, 10-plus odds boosts every Oilers playoff game. And you can score a chance to win a pair of lower bowl or even exclusive suite tickets for a playoff game just by making a bet on a Oilers game at playalberta.ca. And always play responsibly. Strudy, what do we got for a play of the day tonight?
I was going to continue on from Struds on. Play of the day, player of the day. Matthew Tkachuk getting the other team's best player to brawl him at center in a meaningless fight. That is the ultimate baller move by a complete rat. So congratulations to him for getting that to happen.
We're not even going to fire up that debate again. He definitely did his job there, man. You full credit to him.
Exactly.
That is, to get him to take that fight is him doing his job, no question about it. All right. That was our play of the day, brought to you by our great friends over at Play Alberta. Zuby, good job tonight, my friend. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, pal. Glad we were able to get you back in on the phone anyway after that crapped out on us. But,
I'm not sure. Hotel Wi-Fi, I think, can be a little bit dicey. So, Oilers off day tomorrow. They will practice, as will the Canucks. And then, of course, we'll get set for game number 2 on Friday night. We'll have a post-game pod then as well. Struds, thanks, bud.
Yeah, good times. Talk to you guys Friday.
Get some sleep, fellas.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, Shoggy's here in my time zone, so it's not as bad. Get some sleep, Struddy.
It's not. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Will do.
It's almost 2 o'clock. Yeah, Struds, go to bed, buddy. Thanks to everybody that joined us on the stream tonight. And a big thanks to all of our amazing sponsors. We'll talk to you after game 2.